All right, hello and welcome. You're here with Brothers Forge Gaming, and right here we have the Contra Anniversary Collection on PlayStation 4. This is only available as a download, but it is totally worth it. We're going to take a look at this collection. We're going to get into Konami Code Friday. What that is, if you guys have been tuning in, you pop in the Contra Code, you play Konami games that have the Contra Code or Konami Code featured. It just so happens to be Contra for the time being, and there's usually a stipulation or two to make it a little bit more interesting. Today's titled Turning Japanese, so that should be a clue to you right here. We're going to show you there are different versions of Contra on this, and we're going to take a look at the collection itself, and then we're going to play the Famicom version, which those of you who have not had a chance to play the Famicom version of Contra, there are some slight differences. Can you notice them? Let's take a look. Also, we're going to break down some of the different things you can do. If you've played any of these kind of anniversary collection style games before on here, Castlevania, I'm going to assume there's like an arcade shooters one. There's a beat 'em up bundle. I'm going to kind of assume they're all like this. They've got the different layouts here. There's some very cool extras on this. As you can see, the Japanese versions. You've got the arcade versions. NES versions, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo versions. We've got the European releases, Probit. Yeah, anyhow. You got those. So those, were changed for the European audiences for whatever reason. Also, you can switch it over. Some of these were already the Japanese version, so then you can, get even more out of this game switching it over to this mode here. The Contra Game Boy game is fun. It's a lot like Super Contra. I don't remember playing that one back in the day. And you know what? We're just going to go ahead and we're going to look at this book as well. This bonus book is excellent. There's so many fun things in here. I thought I had chat up, but I guess it's not coming up. Let me see if I can find out why. Oh, hey, what's up, Easy? Okay, so yeah, we're going to talk about this. Like I said, if you guys have been I'm going to flip through these pages and talk about this. If you guys have been tuning into the Konami Code Friday edition, we've been doing Contra with, like I said, some different stipulations. Okay. This one just happens to be the Famicom version, and there are some subtle differences you're going to notice. Very cool. The idea of this is to just kind of have fun with the game. I know this is like a game that people play this pretty hardcore. I hadn't played this. We played this back for the weekly retro challenge like quite a bit back, and that was basically the last time I'd played it till we started doing this a couple weeks ago. And then the idea is to just do some kind of different stipulations to make the game more interesting, more challenging. Like one of these times I'm going to do pea shooters only, power up stuff like that. But you do get to put in the Konami code, so it takes the pressure off of that. This is a notoriously difficult game, and, so if you're not used to playing it, a lot of time you can't even get through the game using the Contra code, which is, it's generous in the amount of lives you get, but, right? So is there's some really cool features here. This is kind of more like the manual for each one, so I'll just kind of zip ahead here. But yeah, definitely want to get together with Easy and do a co-op version of the Konami Code Friday Challenge. And again, there's other games as well, so keep an eye out for that. If you guys have any suggestions to which games you'd want to see, as far as games that accept the Konami Code, heck, if somebody has a complete list, if they want to link it in the comments of this video, that would be great, so we could get a complete list of all games that the Konami Code works in. Don't have to include other things out there. I know it hits pop culture and it's on like Easter eggs on DVD menus and different things. It's the craziest thing, and I don't know if we still have it, but I got it's like a controller for my daughter. It's like a toy for her to play with, but you can actually put the Konami code into it, and I don't know what it does. I actually just happened to cross the video on YouTube, so I wanted to check that out, but I want to try to go find that controller and see what it does. I'm actually pretty interested in it, and if we don't still have that, I'm going to be bummed out. But that's a very cool thing, a kid's toy. It's just everywhere. It's all a pop culture. It's very cool. So we're having fun with that. Take some pressure off the game, doing the different challenges. This one just happens to be turning Japanese because it's the Famicom version. And getting into that, it's just playing that. Okay, so that's a whole nother can of worms. We're still trying to collect for the the U.S. release collection. We want to go for an entire NES collection. We're pretty, Easy and I, Brothers Forge Gaming, we're pretty close. There's some games that are quite out of reach, but for the most part, we're doing really good as far as numbers wise on that. But yeah, opening, trying to get, okay, so, and that's always kind of been the case, is it's like, all right, Famicom is interesting, there's some different stuff. A lot of these games are simple, and I think it might have actually been in one of those interviews I just scrolled by. The creator was saying that these gaming is kind of like a universal language. You don't need necessarily to be able to read what they're saying on a game like Contra. You get the concept, you run, you gun, you win. You know what I mean? So, and it's very interesting. So if you guys have a chance to pause that and go back and read that, I'm not really too sure if I'm skipping ahead on these too quickly. I wanted to do this earlier in the day. As far as it goes, I had it timed out to where that would have worked out, but there's a lot of different stuff going on in life right now, so our schedules are a little bit tossed around. So yeah, anyhow, we're getting at this. We're gonna play run and gun bullet hell shooter at 10 o'clock at night. Been up since 6 a.m. So we'll see how this works out. Again, I got that Konami code to help me out, so if I do takes any number of deaths, I should still be able to get a complete run in. But yeah, if you're watching out there, I want you to be able to tell me if you see any of the differences when I'm running the Famicom version. You should notice them right out the gate, but there are a few other subtle ones in there. And again, you get all this included. Everything you're seeing here, you get this included with the Konami or the Contra Collection, whatever the heck this thing is called. You get all this stuff right here, and I mean, it is just incredible. And yes, okay, these are emulated versions, whatnot, they're ports. It's licensed, this is kind of like that middle ground, that gray area where obviously this isn't the original, but guess what? If you've never played Contra before, if you're interested in maybe checking it out, this is a great way to do it. I believe this retails at $19.99. It goes on sale for like $9.99 often, so if you are interested in it, keep an eye out for that. $10. Completely worth it for all this cool stuff you get. Even if you're not going to play any of these games, just seeing this, all that extra stuff I just showed you, just worth the $10. But again, it's not the original version, so if you do want to get into this game as it is intended, you may want to seek the original, but this would be a good way to try it out and see if you like it. And again, you get all this good story here. So yeah, that being said, there is, there's always that little bit of slight lag you get on these HD conversions. These games weren't necessarily meant to run like this. As far as the port goes, it's about average to some of the different ports I've played, but I mean, it's definitely a good installment. But if you are going for that speed run perfection, you might not be able to, you might have a little bit of a challenge with that here. Yeah, they are. Definitely expensive. Hey man, I don't know if this is available on Xbox, but if it is, if you see it around, you should definitely grab it up. Being able to play the PAL releases on there, unless you're looking at getting a Mega Drive, one that plays region free or any of that, you're not going to be able to play those games. So just being able to see them in that little bit of different, pixel graphic thing there, that you're going to get the different sprites than you're used to, is totally worth it as well. Without further ado, let's get into this right here, right now. Here we go. Oh, you know what? And there are some other features, so I'm going to dive into that before we go too crazy. Oh yeah, look at that fire, baby. So, like I said, a lot of these menus are the same. These option menus. So if you've seen them before, you can. Often I'll have to go and adjust the settings here. The buttons are all backwards and weird, so you can adjust that. And come to think of it, I should probably, because this is something I was thinking in my mind and something I actually meant to say, is that with these conversions as well, like an NES controller, a brick controller is possibly, this easy, the best control you're ever going to have on anything ever. You can't beat it, okay? So, again, and I've mentioned this before, the D-pad on these newfangled controllers aren't that great. The buttons don't pop. They're more designed for people to use the triggers. So what I should maybe do is try to adjust playing this to the triggers, because the X button on a PlayStation doesn't pop great. I'm not using that as an excuse here or anything, but it does just add another element to the game you might not be used to, and something I definitely still need to get used to. And then again, I'm using square and X, so it's different than I'm used to as well. So anyhow, you've got these different frames you can set it up as. I happen to like this one. You can also max with these different settings, and I thought maybe if you went to like the Pixel Perfect and different things like that, it would maybe adjust for that HD lag you run into, but in my experience, none of those have really done it. It's just a cosmetic feature. So I typically stick with what it is, the original setting. You can look at the manual, which is, I guess, just one page. I think you can do in-game saves. I haven't tried it. So if you're having trouble, or you maybe want to save a level and practice it, you know, that would be a way to go here. And I believe a lot of the, what are they, like the Retrons and things, the different consoles that you can get to play the older games, the newer consoles have these features as well. But yeah, so here we're going to take a look at this. So why don't you guys go get yourself ready for this. Oh, hey, check this out. You also get a story beforehand. So why don't you tune in, listen to Rock Out to the Vapors, man. Turning Japanese. What a cool song. Gotta love the 80s. Very awesome here. We're going to get into this. Here we go. Oh, and for those of you that don't know, up, down, down, left, right, BA, start. That'll give you the Konami code, and hopefully we can get into that. But right here, you're going to get some story. I'm going to take a drink. Hopefully I have more than 2 seconds here. You better get so ready, like Raging Clue ready, if I don't suck this up. Man, I should choose my words differently from time to time. What are you up to, man? How you doing tonight? Oh, here I am. See, and that's one thing that just drives me nuts about this PlayStation controller is these damn trigger buttons. Xbox, same way, man. You look at it wrong and it goes off. Especially annoying if you're using it to watch DVDs. Like, skip menu. I mean, but just look at all this story. Like, I play through the Contra on NES a lot. I don't ever remember any of this. So, and boom, right here. What? Overworld screen map like Ghosts and Goblins? You gotta be freaking kidding me. So the Konami code did work. One thing you can do as well, which is a nice feature, is you can turn on and off auto fire. So, you know, if you're a fan of using turbo, that'll help you maybe save your tapping or your controller a little bit, which, you know, they can't be said enough about these controllers, man. They just don't make them like they used to. But one thing that it is a little bit troublesome with this auto fire is that if you notice it, it's almost like a 4-shot burst, and if you're missing your targets, if you're familiar with, you know, old gaming, you can only have so many sprites on the screen, and so if you miss your targets, it might affect you in the long run. There's a little bit of that lag. So I usually tap it out on the NES, so I'm not really able to speak if that's a comparison that, you know, you would get if you use like an Advantage or something, because as I mentioned, you need that brick control to really master the cause. Oh man, so you can get in under there, but it's tough, and sometimes it's just not worth dying. But you can get in under there and avoid all of that shenanigans. Oh, how's King's Night going, man? Too much. I don't know. Is that a thing? Dude, Prize Fighter's awesome, though. You need to get down on some of that microcosm or whatever the name of that game we were talking about earlier, man. Get in there and fight those bugs. And then, you know, I can appreciate those cutscenes that we were just talking about there with that mapping and different things. I do like that, but if you are going for a solid run, that does kind of break it up. But also it's kind of nice, especially if you're, you know, like streaming. Gives you a chance to take a drink or, you know, relax for a second. Versus the NES version where it's just hammer all down all the time. I have been experimenting with these levels as far as it goes. You can kind of just, you know, it's almost not worth it to try to kill the guns. And if you stand in a certain spot, they fire straight forward, which is nice. And these are all things I've been figuring out recently. I'll kind of just do that here. See, I was a little bit too over there. I could have got shot by the bullet. There's a sweet spot, like a lot of these old games, a lot of these old shooters, especially the shoot 'em ups, the space shooters. You know, your R-types, your Gradius. See, I went over too far there, so he was tracking on me. Sometimes it's safer just to duck. If you're going for like a deathless run, no death, whatever, speed run, your tactics are going to be a little bit different. I'm just trying to grind this out and get through it. I used to play this game all the time with my buddy in college, and we were decent at the game. We could get through it pretty quick in co-op, so I'm actually not that accustomed to playing this. This is one of the things, I thought I killed that thing, dang it. I'm actually not that accustomed to playing this solo, so for me it adds a little bit more of a challenge. I was looking at the speedrun times, and I think co-op is about 5 minutes faster than the fastest solo player, so you definitely get to jam when you have 2 players going. But I didn't need that death right there. That was unfortunate. But, you know, these cutscenes remind me of Commando. I'm going to grab a drink real quick. Ooh, excuse me. Stone Cold Steve Austin Day was the other day, so hopefully you guys celebrated that, had fun with that, raised up a couple. But you know, it's actually not the worst to die where I died. It's unfortunate because it's nice to keep rolling, but there is another easy spread on this level you get a little bit further up here. Spread's a weapon. I'm not sure what the preferred weapon is for speedrunners. It's not that I have anything against like those kinds of videos or anything, but I tend to not like to watch them because I kind of want to, oh no, I missed that. Man, I'm sucking. I kind of like to figure out how to do this stuff without, you know, looking up too much information. Oh man, that guy just drilled me. But that was definitely not what I was going for right there. Oh! Man! Where'd that guy come from? There's so much randomness, I feel like sometimes. Oh man, then that guy will get me. So, yeah, not a great performance here on the waterfall so far. But that wasn't a terrible wipeout because, like I said, I get spread here. I do like spread. Oh, there it goes. Oh boy. So you gotta watch out when you respawn in those death spots there. I'm just gonna forget that guy. Hopefully he doesn't come to bite me in the butt. There's always trusty machine gun. Maybe I'll spawn up there. Nope. And you know, that's all it takes, is it takes one bad egg and it ruins your whole run. Oh, I didn't make that jump. Oh man, what a bad waterfall. Notoriously difficult level. Nothing to do with nothing there. Oh, seriously? Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Not the worst place to die ever. I have been struggling with level 4. And so basically I die on that boss anyway. But yeah, I prefer spread. I don't know, I've just always kind of preferred spread over any of the other weapons. I like how it, you know, it covers the screen. It seems useful. Oh no. What? Man. I'm just prepping up for when we do tapper pea shooters only, or no power up run. That's what I keep telling myself. I swear, man, you can play through this game 1,000,000 times and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happens. Yeah. It's all about those shirtless cutscenes, man. That's what matters here. Now, I did recently as well, I found Shadow of the Beast. There's a pretty good sale on the PlayStation Store right now. Shadow of the Beast is a remake, or almost a reboot, I should say, versus a remake. But grab that up in the sale. That thing is cool. It has some really cool features like this that you can unlock with just pretty much playing the first couple levels of the game. You can actually unlock an original emulated version, obviously, of the original Shadow of the Beast. And if you guys aren't familiar with that game, it's one of the more difficult games on the Sega Genesis. I want to say it was created essentially as a PC or Amiga style game, but you know, it did get its ports to various console systems. That being one of them, and it's, man, it's a tough game. I even tried to go back and play it recently, and it was still really freaking hard. I did the same thing with Shakan and some of those other ones, man. There's just some tough games. And but this one you can unlock. It's, you know, the emulated version of the original game. You can unlock an invincibility code. So might try to run through that with the invincibility code or infinite lives, whatever it is. And you can also unlock a full playthrough. So I'd be interested to check that out as well, because maybe it's somebody super good at the game doing a complete speedrun, or maybe they just kind of did the same thing, did the infinite lives and smashed through the game. Either way, it would be interesting to see that entire playthrough. And you know what, a cool deal, because it's included on the game, as well as the cool box art, some cool history about the game. I know I learned a lot. I always thought it was a two-part game, but apparently it's a trilogy, and it was only ever, oh man, I thought I was gonna die right there. It was only ever released on the Amiga. I think I'm saying that right. I don't know, it's an interesting kind of way to say it. Oh man, see, I got that bullet pulling on me. Just if you're over just a little bit too far. That's why it's always good to duck. Oh, I can never get that guy. I think you have to be standing up. Alright, bubble guy with my pea shooter. Can't wait. See, I don't know why these guys used to never get me. Slowing down here in my old age. Oh. You know, not even to the bubble man yet himself. Oh, look at that. I hit them both at the same time, though. That took real skill. What I'm going to do is... Oh! I was going to say flawless this boss from here on out, but apparently not. I was like, I'm not going to die anymore the rest of this run. I don't even know if 30 guys is going to be enough at this point. As I was mentioning how generous of amount of guys it was. I did, like I said, I did intend on putting a little bit of work in this week trying to play this and get better at it, but just wasn't happening. I think I'm actually getting worse the more times I play this, if that's possible. On another, and I'm going to give you a hint right here coming up, there's another feature. Can you notice what it is about this level coming up that is different than the NES version? Right at the snowfield. And you can skip these to progress them. I'm not sure if how true that this is to the original Famicom version, but I do like this feature. Very neat. Can you see what it is? I'll give you a hint. Ninja Gaiden. That might help. That might help you. I don't know. Oh, come on, point your dang thing up. Sometimes you gotta die just to get a cool power up. You know, that's just the way it goes. Oh, what the heck, man? Did you see that? What the hell was that? Give me that rapid pea shooter. Nothing, no stronger weapon in the game. Why? Yeah. That's how you kind of sort of want to do that, but I don't know, man. I'm having issues. I didn't think I was gonna shoot that guy. What the heck is going on right now? Oh, that guy got close. But yeah, as I was mentioning, the idea was to do this particular run I'm on co-op with Easy, and have it be the co-op version of the Konami Code Challenge Contra, doing co-op. So that was kind of the idea, but it's probably going to be a little while before you know, that kind of thing will be feasible. So until then, I look forward to. I definitely want to do. I think the next one I want to do is either going to be a no power-up run, a pea shooters only, kind of meaning you could still get rapid, but the trick with that is if you end up picking up power-ups, you know, you gotta dog it immediately if you want to stay consistent, and that's just gonna be no bueno. But also thinking about doing. I think the next one I want to do is gonna be Marathon Man, and it'll be a tappers only fresh run. We're gonna do 3 laps. Something like that. And if you've noticed, the theme in the titles, good for you. I hope you noticed that. It's nice not to go unnoticed. Man, this part has been just drilling me. I don't know if it's fire coming up. It's so much not fun stuff. I swear I used to be able to go up. Oh man, I think I might be in the bad spot. No, okay. Oh. I swear it used to be easier to go up top than it was to go down, but right there I tried to go down and I went oh, down in flames. Oh really? What the heck? Am I gonna be able to beat this? Oh, come on. I was doing a lot better at this. Hey. Nope. I don't know if you're intended to make it through there in one go. I'm sure you can. Really? Did that just happen? Okay, at least I got up there. Oh no. Oh no! Oh, why? Sometimes you just get it, you know? Sometimes you get it, sometimes you get got. Pesky guy running up firing bullets. Why would they do such a thing? Yeah, you know, hey man, that's why you put in the code, bro. Wonder how many guys I'm at. It's probably like 10. Oh yeah, look at that, dude. And you know what? That gives, you know, I'm just gonna talk about it. This has gotta be, who is this guy? I mean, has anybody ever seen the movie Predator? 11 guys. Can I do? I don't know. I die a lot on this level. Should be able to beat the last level, only dying a couple times, so we'll see. I might not actually beat this right now, that's just crazy. My flame is good, but I swear it's like too slow. Oh good, why would you go all the way up there? Oh, don't do it. I know where these walls are, and I still like run into them all the time. That's for no reason. In this game, if you don't pay attention for a millisecond, you're done. I could have made that. I'm gonna blame it on the headset and not being used to wearing it when I'm running. What? Why is this happening to me right now? Easy, if you're making fun of me, that's not very nice, bro. Come on. Something's going on. I think with the mixture of the Konami code and the Famicom version. Something crazy is happening to me right now. This one's tricky. Okay. Almost got me again. This so reminds me of Double Dragon. Those damn things get me all the time. And they put those walls there just to mess with you. I usually like to jump that. Okay. Okay. 2 bullets coming from behind, 1 coming from... I guess I should have ducked on. I used to be able to hit the deck on those a lot easier. Now I'm having just easier time jumping on. Oh, not doing what I wanted to do. And you know, you can just drill that. I always thought you had to kill everything, but I'm learning these little tricks. Dude, you want to go to the Sizzler after this, or what? Yeah, look at that. Where's his shirt? He doesn't need one. That's what's happening right now. And what's with that getup? I need those boots and those pants in my life. Right now, I've almost got that haircut going right now, too, so I can pull that off. Alright, 10 guys. That wasn't miserable. I might have died a couple times, but 10 guys, I should be able to make it happen. Well, yeah. Couldn't plan that any better. Speaking of shrimp in the Sizzler, do these guys look like little shrimps to you? The regular gun is 100 times more powerful right here. Like, I gotta finish that guy off. I guess machine gun's just not as powerful as you want it to be. Man, you gotta kill those things or they get you. Every time. I guess I got lucky there. No! There goes Spread. Okay, goodbye, Spread. I miss you. I miss you so much. Why? No, don't do it! What the hell, man? This is a freaking alien base. It's getting to me. I think they know how many times I've killed their boss lately. 2? What the heck? There's usually 1 mob right there. Where did 3 even come from? Because I guess he fell down? I don't know. There's usually 2 spawn, and then the 1 spawns down right here, and you know, they spawn up top, and then the 1 guy comes down. You know, that's the spawn. You get 1 spawn there, not 2. The hell is going on? I've died there so many times with that last guy coming down. I've pictured myself. Oh, sorry, I was talking over it. And check this out, too. Oh, baby, get to the chopper! There it is. That's what you want, and you do not get that in the original NES version. Worth the bucks, right there. Boom, bang, bing. What was I saying? Oh yeah, that's so that guy comes down and he'll drill you. And I've killed the boss, and I'm sure many people have experienced this in a lot of these old games. You kill the boss, and a random stray bullet kills you. And I could just imagine that being my no-death run. I'm just like, oh, I finally did a no-death run. And stupid alien or something pops out at the last minute and kills you. I know it's going to happen to me because I've already put the thought in my brain. So I don't even think I'll ever want to go for a no-death run on this game. Because, I don't know, I just have fun running through and shooting bullets. And I meant to mention this earlier. This is by far my favorite Contra game of all time. The other ones are neat and fun and everything. Even when you go to Super C, still on the same system, so much has changed. And I'm sure if you get good enough at the game, you can speedrun it, la la la. But this, to me, is the original Mario Contra. You know, the original version of Mario Contra style. Doesn't have as good a control as, say, Mario, but it does have very crisp control compared to any other Contra game I've ever played. Just the level of you know, you can attack this game like no other Contra game I've ever played, and it is spectacular. It's excellent. Best game. If you enjoy these kinds of games, you've never played Contra, I almost can't fathom that, but I'm sure it's a thing. Contra's an old game. It takes a certain kind to want to play this game, but it is well worth your investment of time. I don't know, I've probably beat this game over 1,000 times. it's just one of those games. You can just play it and play it and play it. So this version of the game is pretty cool. Like I outlined in the beginning of this video, it's got all those features, and we'll go take a look at that now. The Contra code does work on the Famicom version. The NES version, not super. I don't know about I don't think they let you put it in on the arcade. I don't remember. The arcade versions are totally different as well, so you'll recognize some stuff in them completely different. Super hard, you know. And again, you've got these other Contra games on here. The Game Boy one runs a lot like Super C. I was hoping it'd be a little bit different than it is, but it's still a cool game nonetheless. And of course, all this extra stuff here. We'll just go and we'll hear this. Oh yeah, that's like pushing start button after you enter the Konami code. Did I do it right? Oh, you did. Okay. So, you know, very cool game, and I think I might have talked over it at the end of the Famicom version, but spoilers, the music when you kill the end boss is completely different. Let's see, what else was there? There's the maps, the overworld map, there's the cutscenes. And then on the snowfield, there is the actual wind comes into effect, and it's displayed on there. So other than that, I didn't really notice anything. In my mind, I'm telling myself it's a little bit harder. The guys are coming out differently, and they're firing their bullets faster. I've wondered in my mind if entering the Konami code, it's like when you enter Zelda or something, as in the original Link game, you know, you start on the second quest, so maybe entering the Konami code makes the game harder. I don't know. I'm just telling myself those things, because what did I die like 30 times right there? Anyway, I have noticed though that there is different random. It's random the way the guys spawn. I've seen maybe 3 or 4 different patterns, and then a lot of times there's one completely different pattern where everything seems super random. So I'm not sure how the game generates those different spawns of enemies, if it's in relation to how fast you're going, where you are on the screen, what jump you made. I don't know if any of that calculates into the equation or not, but I have noticed those things. As far as the difference between the Famicom and the NES version, as far as the layout of the enemies and everything, it all seems pretty much identical, except for, I swear, sometimes the Famicom guys fire like 3 or 4 bullets, where you're only going to get 1 bullet a lot of time from the guys on the NES version. So I do know a lot of time they nerf down these games for the American audience. Castlevania, I believe, is notorious for that as well. So if you're, you know, a badass at you know, Castlevania games, maybe give the Famicom versions a try. They're typically a lot more difficult. So if you're looking for that extreme challenge there, check those out, as well as, I'm assuming, a lot of different versions of these games. But yeah, that was Konami Code Friday. Thanks for watching me suck it up at the Famicom version of Contra. It was definitely a good run. Thanks to Easy for stopping by, and a couple of others that popped in. Appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in. You've been here hanging out with Brothers Forge Gaming. Guys, we're going to be bringing streams. We're going to be bringing vids. Check us out. Come on in. Tune in. We're here with you. Let's enjoy these times together. Let's game. Let's be together, but be apart. What better way to do that than gaming? Stay safe out there. And as always, we'll see you on the next run.